the important question is India buying Russian crude oil illegitimately? Is it breaching the price cap? Is it buying sanctioned oil? There is no evidence of that happening. There is no one who's suggesting that India is breaching the price cap, that India is doing something illegal. Given that, I don't see why and how India can refuse to buy Russian oil forever. Energy prices shot up after Russia invaded Ukraine and began the war in 2022, February 2022. And this was because the Europeans started looking for alternative sources of energy, just started looking for energy in the Gulf states, which is where India buys energy from. So as a result, a pathway had to be found for Russian crude to be made available to the rest of the world. And India became that pathway with the concurrence of Western governments, including the US administration. Quite honestly, that's a bit untrue because India has violated no sanctions. There is a price cap to buying Russian oil. India has adhered to that price cap. So all of this has come as a bit of a puzzle. It's likely that President Trump and President Putin are having their own argument on the possible outcome of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. President Trump has one view, President Putin has another. That argument is not going the US president's way, and maybe India is just suffering collateral damage. As I said, India is suffering collateral damage, but if President Putin and President Trump don't come to a deal and President Putin decides that the outcome is not worth the compromise, then we have a broader crisis for the world. Not just for India. It's not that India and the US don't have differences, of course, any two countries do. But in the past 25 or 27 odd years, there have been strenuous efforts by governments in both countries, by presidents and prime ministers in both capitals, by political parties in both countries, in both nations, to nurture the bilateral relationship because it has been seen as very important for each other and for the broader Indo-Pacific, if not the world. Far from the trade deal going ahead, the tariffs have been imposed. And then there's the additional challenge or problem of indiscreet remarks coming from various officials in Washington, right to the very top, the president, which have obviously influenced public opinion here in India. Russia is also part of India's sort of wider geography. It's a Eurasian power. It's got a presence in Central Asia, it's got influence in Central Asia, it's got influence in the Central Asia, South Asia, border regions, including areas like Afghanistan. So India needs to do business with it. In the end, you can't write away geography.